Happy Taco Tuesday. Watch work. It's 4:09. It is disgustingly hot out and more storms are coming. Yay! Anyway, the moobz 7 is done. It actually got finished Sunday. Actually very early Sunday. I think I did a video talking about moobz here. Moobz is transformation, and I was talking about how I had issues with the moobz 7 and I didn't like it, and I was just having a hard time overcoming a simple situation, getting it flying right, and actually I bumped my head and boom, there it was. I figured it out. Coffee. But I got it done, and I got it done the way that I wanted. So we have a 75mm cockroach frame minus the carbon fiber cross member, which is no longer usable because of where I put the canopy. I love it. It flies fantastic. I got a great flight time with it. I still got to take it outside and really rip on it and just adjust a couple of the rates and stuff like that. But ripping in the basement, no problem at all. Ripping through the whole house the other night, no problem at all. There was a couple obstacles to overcome, and it just worked out on how I figured it out. And again, I am pleased. I am running the Cadex Ant. It is the Ant version that you put on the Happy Metal Crux or something, whatever the hell that thing is. It actually has the little screw holes in the side, so I didn't have to glue it into place, and I can adjust the angle. I was going to run the moobz 7 motors, and I opted out of it for two reasons. They're a little bit louder because they're a little bit older. Oh, I gotta put my phone down here. I don't have anywhere to put it down. Let's see if I can do this. All right. Perfect. All right, let me move that real quick. Put the battery back in. It's loose, so it's gonna float around. Perfect. So these have been beat on quite a bit and wanted just a fresh set, and I didn't want to buy another set of motors, and it ended up working out in a weird sort of way. So when I put these in and flip them upside down, the angle that you can see on the prop, and they're higher posted, I guess you'd call them, they would not recede into the duct upside down. You have to put these props upside down. They don't like flying like this. They just barely worked. You put them the way they're supposed to, and boom, back to normal. But if you put them the way that you have to run them in here, it ends up hitting the inside because the whoop part of it is not flat. It's slanted, concave. So it was hitting the props. And I'm like, great, okay. So, but again, in the process of that, I swapped out. I gutted, where I don't have it, I took apart the Inductrix BL, the first Inductrix that they made that was brushless, and I wanted to modify it, so I ended up swapping the motors out, and that ended up working. Even though they stick out a little bit down below, it doesn't matter because of the way that I have it set up. And that led to one of the other issues that I was running into, not knowing any of this, was how am I going to place the battery. The battery's loose in here, so ignore that. So I'm going to straighten it out. If I put the battery flat, the way that you normally run it, it would hit the props. So now I'm getting pissed upon pissed because it's just like one more thing thrown in my face that I didn't anticipate or want or blah, 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 blah. Actually, Seinfeld, yada, yada, yada. So for shits and giggles, I tried it this way. Again, it's not tight. I didn't have the strap tight just so I could show you guys, but I put the battery this way. And magic, it worked. The only problem with that is if you put it down on its side, it fell to the side because there was no balance. So my solution to that was to just put a little zip tie. Cut a little zip tie to the angle needed, so it's got one on each side and it holds it up. They won't get in the way. They're not going to clip on anything. That means the battery sits just as low. But problem solved, problem solved, problem solved. So there you have it. Of course, I added an LED on the back because I decided to take off. When I took off the original board that died, it had a buzzer, but the buzzer adds weight. Yeah, it's great. I have OSD on-screen display, so I can see my battery life, so I have an idea of when to come back in. And this one's more of a yard flyer, so it's not really going to get lost unless I decide not to mow the lawn. But it's nice having an LED. The LED will help you find it when it goes down quicker. Plus, it looks cool, especially if you're whooping around with somebody else. And they're programmable. So this comes in a huge strip. There's like 20 LEDs, and you can cut it to any length, 1 or 20 or 10, and they're programmable. So when it's in idle mode, it pulses blue, the same color as the frame. And then when I go into arming mode, it flashes green. And there's just an endless amount of things you can do with it. Happy Model came out with, I think it's called the Spec E or Spec I, something like that. Like it's a full range receiver the size of my fingernail. So it's super, super tiny, and it has the diversity antennas, which you see wrapped all the way around the back here. So you'll be able to get insane range with it, farther than the 25 milliwatt that's built into the board. It's the Mobula 6 light board versus... I couldn't find the actual Mobula 7 version 1 board anymore. Everything kept leading me to the Mobula 7 Pro board, which is the one they use in the HD. And that would have let me use 2S also. So I kind of opted out of that one. This one was a little bit cheaper, VTX built in. The only problem was it needed a receiver, so I got the receiver. And it's 1S, but I'm okay with that. No big deal. 2S, I flew the Mobula 7 on 2S, and it was a beast. It was definitely a rocket ship, but I'm okay with the 1S. The power that it's got, and after tuning it a little more when I get it outside, I will be quite content. But it was a fun little project for sure. And it's cool because I got two kind of custom, I can't call it a whoop anymore, but two cool looking quads to fly and rip around the yard, and look forward to doing that some more this weekend. I know, because I think the storms are supposed to come late tonight again. And then tomorrow's supposed to be a shit show. They're talking hail, severe thunderstorms, probably tornado warnings. So we'll see. But moobz is done. I'd love to know what you guys think of it. If you have any kind of recommendations or, something different that you would do, I'd like to hear your opinion. And maybe down the road, I'll do something different with the motors again. I'll look into other props also, because these are the Gemfan 40 millimeter props. It sucks because there's not a lot of 40 millimeter props out there. I'd like to try a biprop just for ha-has, and I will experiment with the quad prop, the biprop, tri-prop, just to see flight time difference and stuff like that, because I know there's a little more momentum carrying a 4-blade versus 3 versus 2, but you lose some thrust when you're rocking only a biprop and stuff. So we'll play around with it and see what the best mix is for flight time, power, and stuff like that. And we'll go from there. But I appreciate y'all tuning in and following this cool little build. It's definitely been fun, and it's crazy how something you think is basically plug and play can kind of kick you in the face. And it's always a simple solution you just kind of ignore sometimes in the process of building. So stay tuned, and there will be some flight footage this weekend. Again, appreciate y'all. Peace out.